I finished my mittens. The color came out much better than expected, so I'm very happy. I do have some leftovers, so I think I'll save that to make socks. But now that I finished these mittens, what's next? Well, I'm currently inspired by Fabel Knitwear by Helene Arnesen. I got this book right before the Christmas holidays. It has 34 patterns. Among them is this pattern here, which is called the Allery blouse. It is a very beautiful light piece with mohair and fingering weight yarn for the bodice, and then a button here at the top. I think it's very beautiful, and it was a lot of fun to knit. So I'm really inspired by all of her patterns here, and one of them is the Maud blouse. This here. It's knit with only mohair. I don't have mohair at the moment, and I don't feel like buying more stuff. What I do feel like is spinning more yarn. So I have this Norwegian wool that came from a Norwegian sheep in the northern parts of Norway. It's a bit grey, white, a little bit of brown. So I'm thinking of spinning this up and then maybe doing a light purple variegation, similar to what I did with these mittens here. And then I'll try to adjust the pattern to whatever comes from this. We'll see. I mean, the other one is supposed to be just mohair, and mohair is very light, and I'm a new spinner, so it'll be an interesting project. I'm also very much inspired by these yarns. I'll show up a close-up of these. Here's a closer look. I took the cups from another of her patterns, but you see the sleeves are made out of mohair. Then there's a collar, and I've put a really nice looking button here. And then the opening. I did do some adjustments to her patterns. I think most of her patterns, they're quite on the short side. I like them to be a bit longer, since I don't have that many high waist pants. But overall, I think this was really nice. Very fluffy, very elegant, and the colorway, look at this. So this is her book with 34 romantic patterns, and this is part of her Advent calendar collection. She also did include buttons and a pin and some wool soap. These are very beautiful yarns. I don't think that I have enough for a whole project, unless I mix and match, but not enough for just one colored project. So we'll see. I really want to do the mod pattern, so I will spin my wool here, and then I will also finish spinning this up, which is Jacob Comb Top, I believe. So I think we should get to it. So I've been spinning like a crazy person. It's been a few days, 5-7 days, a week, and I've made all of this. I'm actually really happy with it. I am not done spinning all this gray yarn, so I think I will do that before I start knitting the project. I have had to fluff out the carded yarn, and for that I made some homemade combs. What was that? Okay, look at this. It's basically a piece of hard plastic, 2 scraps of leftover wood, and a bunch of nails that have been nailed through and super glued. I call it Frankenstein. Okay. So I use this. The wool, the card wool that I got, I'm dropping things all over the place, looks like this, and it's a bit compact, and it also has lots of short ends like this that I don't want in the wool because it makes it kind of bulky and uneven, and the pattern that I'm planning to make with this, it was originally planned out with mohair. This is not mohair. So I wanted to make it as fine as I can spin it, but I still have to use the combs because it's just too compact and I need to sort it out. So it goes from something like this to something a bit more fluffy, and there's still like this gunk here that I need to take out, but it's fine. And the wool has just been rinsed with warm water, so it's not entirely clean. I still have to clean it after I've spinned it. You can still smell raw wool smell, and there's still quite a lot of lanolin left in it, and it's quite nice because it leaves my fingers all nice and moisturized, so I actually like it. Okay, so let's spin some more. I've been spinning for several days now, and this is the result. Very nice. I have realized one thing, however, and it's that this string is a bit too thick and maybe not as soft as required for the pattern I was planning right here. So I'm thinking that because it's a bit thicker yarn, and because I don't want it directly on my skin if it's gonna be very itchy, that I use it to make a vest. And from the same book, there is a vest pattern which is rather nice. It's called the Hobbiton vest. There. So I'm thinking of making that instead, and I don't want a completely gray yarn, so what I think I'll do is I'll dye it or try to speckle again in purple. The other thing I realized is that my antique spinning wheel has a bit of a problem. This part here, it's rather loose, and well, I've had to tie it with some string to stabilize it because the wheel was way too wobbly and then the band kept coming off. And the other thing that I realize is that it's time to, let's have a look here, and like that, it's time to remove these hooks that I had put here and try to make a bit more permanent solution without putting new hooks and without ordering a new flyer. So the first thing that I'm doing is removing the old hooks, but it's not as easy. Let me zoom in. So as you can see here, I've added some makeshift wires with a rubber band to hold it in place. And I've tried to wiggle out the hooks. This one came out okay, and then this one just snapped. And I'm guessing that most of them will snap because the metal is quite old and it looks a bit rusted. So we'll see. Let's just get to it. Let's try to wiggle it. And I don't mind if it snaps, to be quite honest. Just as long as there's no metal sticking out, I'm happy with that. Oh, I think this might come out. Yes. Okay, don't jinx it. No, it's not. Yeah. There you go. Alright. That's okay. Let's remove these. See, this one came out. Alright. Yeah. Like that. And the last one. Oh, it's gonna break. No, it actually came out. Interesting. I'll just probably have to sand this one down. There's just two that's stuck there. It's fine. Alright, so what am I gonna do? I got one of these rings used to hold your string. I don't know what they're called, but if you're doing color work, then you'll have two holes for your strings while you're knitting or crocheting. So I thought this might be a bit clever if I want to make kind of like a modern flyer where you just slide this to wherever you want. It is a little bit too big, obviously, but I'm thinking, how can I attach this? I mean, I could use a rubber band, or maybe I could put like a little wooden wedge here at the side. or at the bottom to hold it in place, and then I can slide it to whatever position I fancy. I think that's a far more elegant solution than what I had, and I can still hold this. I can still use this wire and this bobbin here. So let's try it out next time though, because I want to finish playing this yarn and then finish knitting my vest. Okay, I went and got one of those construction wooden wedges from the workshop, and I just cut the tip and tried to make it fit in here like this. So let's say that I want to fill in the back part of the bobbin like this, then I'll just go like that. And it holds well enough, and then I'll just adjust it. Let's say if I want to move it here, then I'll do that. The time has finally come to color my yarn. I have 4 colors: spruce, royal blue, lilac, and burgundy. I want to stick to the plan, so I will only use lilac today. So on this tray, I've just pre-soaked the yarn in vinegar water, and I'm hoping to get some speckled effects. Last time I added way too much water to the tray, and by the time I brought it to temperature, everything had just dissolved. So my goal was to improve on this, but as you'll see later on, I don't think it worked out as I had planned. Again. On this tray, I added the dye right on the hot pan, hoping that it would just strike quickly and that maybe I could get a speckled effect like this also, but as you can see, it just dissolved away. So here's the final result. I made 1, 2, 3, 4 in the color lilac, and then the 2 last ones in both lilac and spruce color. I was planning to do all of them in one color, but then I got inspired and I wanted to try out 2 colors to see how they looked, and I'm pretty happy with it. I was going for a speckled effect again. I did get it in some places. I don't think it shows very well on camera, but not as much as I would have liked. So it's a work in progress. I'm still learning how to do this. I just don't think they strike as fast, and then by the time I get them to the appropriate temperature, they just dissolve. In any case, I am quite happy with this. I was hoping to also spin this a bit thinner, but it is what it is. I will see what I make of these later on. I am planning to make the Hobbiton vest, but You know, plants always change and inspirations change also. Here we go. I think that's quite nice. So you'll just have to see in the next video. Bye!